Paraha, transcendental. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Intelligence can be perceived in three states of activity: wakefulness, dreaming, and deep sleep. The person who perceives these three is to be considered the original master, the ruler, the supreme personality of Godhead. Purport. Without intelligence, one cannot understand the direct activities of senses, nor can he understand dreaming or cessation of all gross and subtle bodies. The seer and controller is Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Soul, by whose direction the individual soul can understand when he is awake, when he is sleeping, and when he is completely in trance. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. The living entities are completely absorbed in three states of wakefulness, dreaming, and deep sleep through their intelligence. This intelligence is supplied by Supreme Personality of Godhead, who accompanies the individual soul as a friend. Sri Madhvacharya says that the living entity is sometimes described as Sattva Buddhi, when his intelligence acts directly to perceive pain and pleasure above activities. There is dreaming state in which understanding comes from Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul, is Supreme Controller, and under his directions, the living entities are sub-controllers. One must understand the Supreme God with one's intelligence. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सावधूतं परिसदा सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So we are seeing this section. So we will discuss today the concept of chitta and chit. So various places it's described that chitta, so body is our soul is Satchidanand. Sat Chit Anand. It has all knowledge, consciousness. So the consciousness of the soul, the pure unadulterated consciousness is Chit, the original consciousness. And Chitta is the consciousness that's rooted through this material world. Okay. So this consciousness many times is like very confusing whether it's material or spiritual. How does it works? So, like, we will try to understand it through examples. So, when a person goes to a theater, okay, so when he enters the theater, he can see everything. Okay, there are people around, there is screen, there is light, fan, many other things he can see. But when the movie starts, there is only projection of one screen, and the person just sees only that. Okay, so that is conditioned consciousness. Now he cannot see all other things. His consciousness is directed towards only one screen, and different types of emotions arises in the heart, what's going on that screen. So that is conditioned consciousness. That is what is called as chitta or chetana, that we understand. So chitta is not the experience maybe at the material platform, but the origin is through soul. Okay. Another example can be given is like a bulb. So when a bulb is illuminated, there is light at like everywhere in the room. So the light is compared to the consciousness. The bulb is compared to soul. And the film, if there is any, the film around the bulb, the color of the film will decide whether there is like, there will be orange light or green light or whatever the type of the color of the light, that will be decided by the film that is present in the bulb, the external frame, the outer covering. So that is consciousness. So we may have a pure consciousness, but because it goes through different layers of gross and subtle body, we experience different emotions. So in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, Krishna says the different elements of the body. So he says 5 gross elements, okay, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Then 5 working senses, then 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 sense objects, and then mind, intelligence, false ego, and pradhan. So these are 24 elements of the existence, our material existence. Then he says, apart from this, ichha, dvesha, sukham, dukkham, chetana, dhriti, and sanghat. So these are also interactions of these are kshetra vikar, interactions of the body. Okay. So interactions of the body. So chetana is like arises because of the interaction with this body, the gross and the subtle body. Okay. So this is, so just we can understand, like, suppose this is soul and there is one covering that is subtle body and second covering is gross body. Okay. So very wonderfully it explained that chetana at the level of soul, pure soul, that is chit. Okay. The original consciousness. So when the chetana experienced through the gross body. So second layer, when it crosses the second layer, the gross body, the subtle body and the gross body, that is, so there are 4 stages of chetana, the chitta, jagroti, swapna, sushupti and turiya. Okay. So when the consciousness travels all through the subtle and the gross body, that is jagruti. We are in the state of wakefulness. We understand what's going around. So that is the like external state of consciousness. When the chetana doesn't cross the gross body, but it like the between subtle body and gross body, that is swapna, second stage. Then when the chetana crosses just the gross subtle, the soul, and it's between soul and the subtle body, that is deep sleep, sushupti. Okay. And then when the chetana is fully absorbed at the level of soul, that is turiya, the state of samadhi. Okay. So this is how many times uh, in scriptures it is trained that we should apply our consciousness in deeper. Okay, we should apply our consciousness in understanding that we are not this body, we are the soul. So in Ashtanga Yoga, it's explained like Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam. So these are like controlling, drawing the consciousness towards inner self. Okay, then Pratyahar, and then goes Dhyaran, Dhyana, Samadhi. So when consciousness is completely absorbed in the self, that is the level of Samadhi, where one understands that one is not this material body, different from the material body, and all different types of emotions that one experience is just because of the interaction of this gross subtle body, and we are just the seer, we are just the as one says that we experience different types of emotions because of the connection with the material world, because of this connection with external world. So this is a technical subject, but uh, it's explained here. So many times it's said that Chetana is material. Chetana is the transmitter. The Chetana is like brain. It's the transmitter of various signals of the body. Similarly, Chetana, the body, the gross body, the pure consciousness, when it perceived through the gross body, that is called as Chetana. Okay. So this is what is Chetana. And so how does it help? Let go in the application part. Hmm. So our so many places in Bhagavad Gita it says mat chittah mad gata prana bodhayantah parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. So Krishna says that the chetana mad chitta mad gata prana, it should be directed in Krishna katha. So cheto darpana marjanam. The entire process is we have to purify our consciousness. International Society for Krishna Consciousness means we have to purify our consciousness. So there are two ways. So one way that other different other path they apply is all sorts of interactions is this material world is material, that is temporary. We have to just reject. Okay, this doesn't exist. So, Chetana, there are two aspects how we can direct our consciousness towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One is totally absorbing in inner self and understanding that nothing in this material world is temporary, is actually exist, or this is temporary. Second way, the path which is followed by bhakti practitioners is understanding that Krishna exists in everything. Okay, rather than thinking that nothing of this material world or this world is actually spiritual, everything is material. Devotees think that everything in this material world is energy of Krishna. Okay, that is external energy of Krishna. So, matta parataram na anyat kinchit asti dhananjay. Mai sarvam idam pruktam sutre manigadavi. Everything in this material world is Krishna. So, understanding Krishna through that is much simpler. We can understand, okay, whatever exists in this material world actually belongs to Krishna, and uh, we are just servant. Okay, so this is this is how Krishna says matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So everything, so this intelligence to understand uh, ki you are awake or you are asleep, everything is given by Krishna. So this is, we may think it's very simple. We go to sleep and then get up in morning. Actually, this sleep, it is actually given by Krishna. We forget the external environment. We go deeper. Every day when we sleep, we cut off our relationships with external world. So this is an we are not this body and we are a servant of Krishna. This is what we have to direct our consciousness towards. Okay. So in Bhagavad Gita, Arjun got bewildered at one point of time when he was, okay, his consciousness was directed that I am this body, and he was confused between two material consciousness. One consciousness is I am Kshatriya, I have to fight. Of course, that is also good, but that's material consciousness. And second material consciousness, these are my family members. How can I actually kill them? So these two types of consciousness he was caught into, and therefore he was confused. So Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke that you are not this body, your original, your identity is you are soul, a servant of Krishna, and you fight just to serve me. Okay, so that conscious, so we are in this world practicing various types of devotional service. So many times, in spite of our practice, the knowledge may not have been internalized, and that's what we have to try. Okay, so we are, like, Krishna Janmashtami is approaching, and we are hearing various types of demons. So one demon that we will discuss, that how consciousness is shifted, Kalia. So Kalia, in previous life, he was a sage called as Vedashira. So he was practicing meditation or his sadhana in his hut or in his ashram. And there comes another sage, his name was Ashwashira. Okay. So Vedashira, though he was a sage, he has practically renounced external world and he is living in a ashram. But sometimes our consciousness may be so like silly that it will catch some very simple thing and identify ourselves with that. So Vedashira, he rejected this world, but his consciousness that this ashram belongs to me. Okay, so when Ashwashira came, he said, "Oh, you cannot practice your meditation here. Get out of here. This area is mine. This place is mine." Uh, So just he has renounced this world, but a small ashram in some jungle or a hilly thinks that it belongs to him. So because Ashwasira says that, oh, everything belongs to Krishna, nothing belongs to God. Who are you to say that I should go away from here? So many sages have performed austerities here. So I will all perform my sadhana or my practice here. So Vedashira, he got so furious, he cursed Ashwashira that you become, you are this, you become a snake. Okay, Ashwashira cursed Vedashira that you become a snake. Okay, because you are having envy, you are so much that he said that you go away from here. He cursed that you become a snake. And Vedashira, then he cursed that just you want to take revenge for a simple thing. You cursed. I curse you, become a crow. Okay. So in this way, Vedashira became Kalia. And then Vishnu came and he said, "Oh, both of you are my devotees. You are fighting for a simple thing." And then both of them realized their mistake. And then when they seek forgiveness, then Vishnu said, "Okay, you will become Kalia, and but you don't worry, uh, you will get my darshan, and when I will dance on your hoods, Garud will not do anything to you." And to this another person, he said, "You will become crow, but you will be able to witness all of my pastimes." Okay, so these are, so they were sages. Okay, they were renounced, but still this consciousness, it can be we may be externally performing our devotional service, speaking philosophy, but it might go and stuck up in some simple thing, and we may start identifying ourselves with that thing. Okay, that's the problem. Another very striking example is of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj renounced entire world, went to a forest, and he is practicing sadhana there. Hmm? Imagine just for an emperor to give up entire kingdom, so many wars are fought, so many politics are been done for the throne of an emperor, and he is just renouncing and rejecting everything and going to a forest to practice sadhana. Okay? So one day when he was performing sadhana, you know the story that a small she deer came and she was pregnant, was drinking water on a bank of a river, and when this lion roared, she jumped, and there was a she gave birth to a deer, and the mother passed away, and this scene is being seen by Bharat Maharaj. Hmm. So naturally, as a devotee, there will be affection or compassion towards something you seen like this. So he gave shelter to that deer. But then consciousness, so previously he gave up everything and he was directing his consciousness towards Krishna. Okay, so he was purifying or spiritualizing his consciousness. So we cannot give up emotions, we cannot give up desires and different type of emotions that arises. That's not possible. So therefore, this is what like external practice, different practitioners they do. But in bhakti, what is being taught is you spiritualize your consciousness, you fill your memory with Krishna conscious activities. Okay, so that will be our memory, and we will be constantly thinking about that is what kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. So to the degree we hear this thing, to that degree we will have that memory, and it will rewind our like contaminated consciousness, and we will gradually understand that everything belongs to Krishna. Okay, it will purify. So no need to give up anything, we have to just purify or spiritualize everything. Hmm? So same energy, it's called external energy. When it will used in service of Krishna, we will see that it will actually same like uh, when Prabhupada many times explains that this speaker or this mic, it's an external thing, but because it is being used in service of Krishna, it becomes spiritual. So spiritual and material, it's just a thing of consciousness actually. How we are seeing that thing, that will define whether it's a material thing or a spiritual thing. Huh? So if the same thing, if it is used in service of Krishna, it becomes spiritual. If it is used in service of Atmendriya Pritivancha, that becomes calm or that becomes bhoga. So Bharat Maharaj, it's such a wonderful example. He- for a moment, he renounced everything. He was enjoying within himself, and he has reached to the state of bhav, and spiritual emotions have started arising in his heart. Okay, but from that point he developed, so helping that deer was not a problem. Any devotee will feel compassion and do that. But then understanding or getting this notion that I am the protector. I am the only protector. Okay, so we may like many devotees, many people come and take prasad here. So distributing prasad is not a problem. So many there may be many who for many that may be the only prasad of the day. Okay, so distributing prasad is not a problem, but when one starts thinking that I am the only person who will give prasad, otherwise he will go hungry. I am the only protector. Okay, so when this consciousness arises, the person gets entangled. Okay, this is less bodily consciousness. So this consciousness, it again redirects to at the level of body, it becomes like bodily conscious, and the person starts thinking that I am the doer. Okay, I can supply something, I can do something, I can protect someone, I can uh, like harm someone. That is actually bodily consciousness. So Bharat Maharaj was actually stuck in that. So renouncing everything, he was actually stuck that okay, I am the controller. I am someone who can. I only I can give protection to this deer. And therefore, so many, when the deer is is not seen, he just become mad. What must be happened to this deer? He must be safe or not? He's asking the moon, he's asking the trees, he's searching everywhere, where is my deer? So imagine what a degree of shift. So these are examples, ki how a person who is at the level of uh, bhava, he can be affected. So we may have come to Krishna consciousness, given up chai, coffee, or uh, onion, garlic, or brahmacharis, many other things also. But this consciousness is anytime it will get stuck up in one simple thing, and entire, we might become so possessive about that thing that because of this only our bhakti will move ahead. Okay. So this Bharat, but by mercy of Krishna, we see that in the body of a king, he was so absorbed, like at the level of body, he was thinking of himself as the protector or the doer. But then, same by mercy of Krishna, in the body of the deer, he could understand that he was Bharat Maharaj. So this is what is Krishna explains, that mattah smritir jnanam apohanam. तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धि योगम तम ये न माम उपयंति से. So this intelligence to understand Krishna, intelligence to come towards Krishna, is given by Krishna. Okay, it cannot be acquired. Spiritual knowledge cannot be acquired by our mm, so-called study or efforts or different thing. It is received by mercy of Krishna. Okay, so another example. So then we hear that even in the body of Jad Bharat, and ahead he was conscious. He didn't. He had such a stout body, heavy body, but he was totally spiritual absorbed to that extent that he is about to get killed, but he is just whatever. I am not this body, I am this soul. Mm. So this is a mercy. So that comes by sadhana. If we perform our sadhana and by seva, it's a mercy that's being awarded by Guru and Krishna. Okay, so in spiritual academic knowledge, one can memorize something, but spiritual knowledge, it is received within the heart. Okay, so another is like Brahma Vimohan Leela. We have so Aghasur and this again before Brahma Vimohan Leela, Aghasur, we may take this past time. So Aghasur was in previous life, previous form, we can say. It was a very beautiful sort of a king or a prince. He had wonderful, like, he was so proud of his beauty. So therefore, he used to ridicule everyone who used to see, whomever he used to see. So therefore, Kunti Maharani says, Janma Aishwarya Shrutah Shribhir. See, these four things that will cause our consciousness more deep rooted towards body. Okay, they will identify ourselves as body. So Shribhir. So he has this very like explicit beauty. Therefore, so he used to ridicule many people. So once he was seeing Ashtavakra Muni. So Ashtavakra Muni, because his body was bent in a certain form, he was criticizing or making fun of Ashtavakra Muni by walking in front of him, mimicking him. So Ashtavakra Muni, he became angry. So initially he just told that he just ignored, but when he was repeatedly doing, then he cursed that, oh, you want to mimic, just I am walking because my body is bent in a certain way, and you are trying to mimic me. You get a form where just to move, you have to move your entire body. Okay, so you get the body of a snake or a python. That he became Aghasur. So represents cruelty. So when Krishna killed Aghasur, Brahma, so this there was a great jubilation and there was great festival throughout. all the three worlds, and the news went to Brahma. So Brahma, he came, and what happened? He said, "Oh, Krishna killed Aghasur." Oh, Krishna killed Aghasur. Who is Krishna? This small boy is Krishna. So this small boy. So imagine our body is made up of his panch bhoot, mind, intelligence, walls, ego. So gross, subtle body. Brahmaji is such an elevated platform which says that body is just made of intelligence. The body which is made of intelligence, that body cannot understand Krishna if Krishna doesn't want. And he got bewildered. And Brahmaji, he saw Krishna, and just a small boy, 5-year-old boy, what he will do? A 5-year-old boy is just playing with his friends, he's taking food, prasad from, bhoga from another's plate, and devotees and children, like other, his friends are playing with him, joking with him. So Brahma thinks, is this he's God? I like Veda, all Vedas are like, I know all the Vedas, and there is a proper procedure how God is worshipped, how he is served bhoga. Is this how God eats, takes bhoga? So to just check whether this small boy is God or not, he takes away all the calves, and he takes away all the friends of Krishna. And then we know this pastime that, and this Krishna, uh, by one thing he fulfills everyone's desire. All the gopis, they always had this desire to serve Krishna, to love Krishna, to bathe Krishna, to massage Krishna, but they didn't get this opportunity, because like Krishna, like all the night Krishna used to stay at home, and during the day used to go to the forest. So entire day they used to look on the path from where Krishna used to come, and they were just waiting for Krishna. And so they had that deep desire that we want to serve Krishna like Mother Yashoda, like his mother. And Krishna fulfilled his desire. So much so, entire year, Balramji didn't understand what's going on. And then we know this pastime that the mothers were loving their children as if he is Krishna. The cows, they were loving the cows. They were licking the cows as if they will swallow them. So that much love they had developed for their cows and sons. So then Brahmaji, then Balramji one day questioned Krishna. I think there is different emotions and relations you have expanded. And Krishna says yes. So then Brahmaji, when he comes back, he says that everything is as it is. Whomever he has left, whomever he has taken, everything is same. Then Krishna manifested his real opulence. So Krishna is present in each and every atom. Each and every minute thing Krishna is present, but we can see Krishna only by mercy of Krishna. Hmm? So we can see Krishna by prema chakshu. We cannot see Krishna by this chakshu. By charma chakshu, we cannot see Krishna. And Brahma got bewildered, and he prays to, and when he in the prayers, he says many things. He says that there are many scientists, many philosophers. It is possible to count the atoms that are present, each the different atoms that are present in this world. It is possible to count the molecules that are present in the rays of the sun, but it's not possible to count your qualities, O Krishna. Who is speaking this? I am Brahma. He's telling that I am Brahma, I am the creator of this world. There may be some philosophers or some scientists who may come up with different conclusions or with different theories that absolute truth, or you are like this, we are like that. I am the creator. I am the Brahma. I am the topmost person in this world. I cannot understand you. Okay. And then he says that, okay, and many different things. Okay. So this consciousness at the material platform. So how, so currently we are in this body. We may say that we are not this body, but we are in this body. Okay. So therefore, Krishna, when he says in 13th shloka, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantar prapti dhirastatran. We are not this body. We are soul, but the problem is we are in this body. So therefore, immediately he says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkha. So in this body, we may have interactions with this material world, and we may have to, we will get different type of emotions, or we may suffer a different thing. But it's like sheet ushna, summer and winter, it will come and go. Just tolerate. Okay, we have to just tolerate. So there are necessities. Prabhupada says in that verse, huh, that we have to, this body we have to just supply with bare necessities, different basic necessities we have to supply, and we have to purify our consciousness, direct our consciousness towards, and then Krishna, and then we will reach to the platform of Kaivalyam. Kaivalyam, like they say that it is oneness with the Supreme. It is oneness with the Supreme, where we understand actually everything is Krishna, where we as a part and parcel of Krishna, we are Parashakti and then Aparashakti. So these are this is actual state of purified consciousness, where we realize that we are just nothing but Krishna Nityadas. Krishnera Nityadas. Our original identity, our original consciousness is just we are servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna, and we are nothing else, and that is pure consciousness. Okay. So last, we may say one more example and we will end here. So this example of consciousness again, uh, in the Nalakuvar and Manigriva pastime, in Krishna Damodar Leela. So a person may be so intoxicated by external achievements or external beauty, that Nalakuvar and Manigriv, they were, and when Narad Muni is going, so people may have, there are various types of sadhus who don't wear dress or external clothing, thinking, oh, we are not this body. And there, here are Nalkuvar and Manigriv. They are so intoxicated. They are standing naked. And when Narad Muni is going, he is thinking, okay, what the problem? We are sons of where? And why Narad Muni is going on from this pathway? He should go from some other path. So sometimes this bodily consciousness may be so captivating. A person may be in a totally state of madness, and he may not realize that what he is doing and what he is not doing. And finally, Narad Muni, when he curses, okay, you want to display your bodily features, become a tree. This, so the body of a tree, you have a jada, very jada consciousness. Similarly, example of this uh, even in the body of an elephant, Gajendra, uh, by mercy of Krishna, previously in previous life he was a Indradyumna Maharaj. He got cursed for no reason practically. He was sitting on a hill. Agastya Muni came. He didn't get up and he cursed for no reason. He's sitting at some aloof place and he's practicing his meditation. The sadhu comes, curses, and goes away. So that is Krishna's arrangement. And then he becomes a elephant. But see the power of Krishna, that mercy of Krishna, that even in the body of an elephant is a very we can say very jada pashu animal. Hmm? But still he could remember his previous life, or if we could offer wonderful prayers by mercy of Krishna, and then Krishna himself comes and takes him away. Okay. So we have this danger and we have hope also. We have danger in the form of Bharat Maharaj, then pastimes of Ashwashira and Vedashira, where whatever platform we reach, there is always a chance that we may get stuck up for very small, minute thing. We may get stuck up in that thing, and we may identify ourselves with that thing. This is mine, this is mine, this belongs to me, this place belongs to me. Our consciousness may get affected by I, me, and mine. And then we have a hope, like deer and like Jad Bharat and like Gajendra, that we may in any state of consciousness, if there is mercy of Krishna, we can remember Krishna at every moment. So that is mercy of Krishna. So I would like to end here. These are some of the thoughts. Anyone who wants to ask any questions, we can, or we'll end.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, bro. You were initially mentioning about different consciousness in the dream state and consciousness in the sushupti. Can you explain the differences?
So this is soul. Okay. So we have two coverings, subtle body and gross body. Okay. So the reach of the consciousness, the chitta, the pure consciousness of the soul is chit. Okay. Consciousness experienced through this body is chitta, that is material, in sort of material. Okay, the origin is soul, but it becomes material. Like example I gave, or is many times given, is like a movie theater. When you go to a movie theater, you can see everything. Okay, when the movie starts, you can see only the screen. So that is conditioned consciousness. So conditioned consciousness is chitta. Now this chitta, the conditioned consciousness, the reach world. Okay, so that is jagruti. So when the consciousness just crosses the subtle body, it doesn't cross the gross body, that is swapna. So when the consciousness is like doesn't reach subtle body, is little deeper, that is sushupti, deep sleep. And turiya is when the consciousness, though it is in material world, it is like the source, it is totally absorbed in the state of samadhi. We can say that absorbed in Krishna. So these are the various state of consciousness. Okay. Any other question? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, हरे कृष्ण।